Hey everybody, it's Pete here from PlaytendoGuy, and I've been asked by AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer Podcast, to bring you my three favourite 90s films. That is an action, a sci-fi, and a comedy. So yeah, after some thinking and going through my collection and dwindling down the numbers to find just three titles, I have them here. So without further ado, let's talk about my action one first. So yes, my pick is Speed for action. I really do enjoy this film. I watched this many years ago and had a great time with it, and then I picked up the 4K last year and watched the film about 2 or 3 times last year and had a darn good time with it. Featuring some fantastic special effects, being entirely set more or less for pretty much half the film on this train, on this bus. It's such a brilliant experience. It's very claustrophobic but keeps you on the edge of your seat. You've also got a fantastic score here that really does keep the adrenaline pumping. It definitely shows that Keanu Reeves is a very good action star. Even back in the 90s, he's still pumping out some good action films to this day with John Wick 4 up and coming, which I can't wait for. We also do have Sandra Bullock here in pretty much her breakout role, and she's great in this one. She does return for the sequel, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. I actually don't mind Speed 2. But here, the star of the show definitely is Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, whenever he's a villain in a film, you know you're in for a good time. He's quite charismatic, very evil, but just so great to watch on screen. He doesn't really do a lot action-wise. He mostly sits behind a computer for the majority of the film, but my word, does he make his presence felt. Great film, still holds up today, so my action pick is Speed. Next up for my comedy pick, I went through my collection. I was thinking about 2 or 3 titles. I was going to pick Austin Powers, but I found this in my collection, and I remember watching this twice last year for the first time and had a lot of fun with it. And it's a Kevin Smith film. No, it isn't Clerks, it's Mallrats. This is just so much fun. The story of this isn't really nothing to write home about. It's about these two lads who really are bad boyfriends, and their girlfriends decide to leave them. All they do is spend their times wandering around the shopping mall in this city centre and basically waste the day away, getting up to all sorts of different antics. But today, in this film, they try to win back their girlfriends with the help of Jay and Silent Bob. It's a ridiculous film. Not a lot happens in it, but it's very, very funny, and it has a lot of heart to it. Like with a lot of Kevin Smith films, whilst the humour can be quite gross out at times, the characters here are quite likeable and you do root for them. This actually does have a really good all-star cast here. You have Michael Rooker here. You also do get a very young Ben Affleck here, and quite a unusual role for him, but he has appeared in many different Kevin Smith films. And you also do get quite a lengthy cameo by Stan Lee. It's a lot of fun, quite gross out, but a great time, and a fantastic soundtrack too. So for me, comedy goes to Mallrats. And for my final pick, it's for sci-fi. And going through my collection, it came down to a few films, but when it came to this film, there was no other choice. One of the greatest sequels of all time, one of the greatest films of all time, and that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. For me, I do prefer the original Terminator just that little bit more, mainly because I think it's just Arnie's best role. He's such a relentless character in the original, but here the tables are turned. He's the good guy. He's here to protect Sarah and John Connor from the evil new T-1000, played brilliantly by Robert Patrick. He's silent, he rarely ever says a word, and he is just so relentless in this one. The film is just over 2 hours, and again, very much like other films, it just flies completely by. It's like a road trip of sorts with superb action sequences, some incredible special effects here. It's probably one of James Cameron's greatest films. It's just so well done. The bit where the T-1000 walks through like the cell doors, turning all liquid, it still holds up to this day. Like, definitely one of the best sci-fi films, one of the best action films, and highly regarded film that's still probably the greatest or one of the greatest films from the 90s. James Cameron certainly did a lot of amazing stuff back in the day, and Terminator 2 is one of those films. So for me, sci-fi has to go to Terminator. 90s sci-fi, action, and comedy. Thanks for watching.